So first, we are going to be talking about flexible thinking, right? Because that's a, a good start for what we're going to be talking about. Because it's important that not only are we um you know thinking critically, that we are being flexible with our ideologies, with our beliefs, with our faith systems, with the systems and constructs that we create and share with others and all that. But it's important because we need to also be encouraging people to be flexible with their thinking. This isn't so much a direct thing, chat. I need to explain. It's not so much a direct, oh, you need to be flexible with your thinking, right? No, it's more of encouraging. When you are a kid and you don't want to learn how to tie your shoes, your parents don't just force you to do it because you remember stuff like that, right? You resent stuff like that. You internalize it, right? And that's important. So it's important that we are encouraging people to think flexibly because it makes us more adapt to change. It makes us more, willing to learn. It makes us more, all that stuff, right, Chad? So I think that it's important that we just think about the vital parts of um, critical thinking and how they work for us, what we use the most, what we don't use at all, and really work, adapt, and shape ourselves into people that are, critical thinkers, people that are, adapting, people that are embracing change, whether it's good or bad, right, Chad? Because I talk about that all the time. Not all change has to be good. All these very critical, toxic positive influencers on the internet, it gets very overwhelming because toxic positivity is the only avenue, the only path, the only road to victim blaming. You can't victim blame people when you are thinking critically and you are looking objectively at the bigger picture, not just narrowly getting to see a glimpse of the frame. There's a difference. So we need to encourage each other to think critically, to be flexible with our thinking, to challenge each other, to challenge each other because it's not spirituality. And I hate to say this, I hate to break it to you, chat, but this is the truth. It's not spirituality if you are not challenged, if there is no one to challenge you, if you are not challenging norms, because you are in this because you end up in this toxic bubble of everything that makes you comfortable, everything that makes you that reflects your identity. And I don't think that that is healthy in any sense of um that very stagnant belief system. So I think that it's very important that we challenge each other, right? I think that right now we well, I'm not gonna even talk about right now, right? We're gonna go back to the early 2000s, right? Love the early 2000s, love 2IK. I was a natural born 2IK kid, right? there are there were a lot of different media forms and platforms and news media outlets, right, all at once in the early 2000s, from 2000 to 2000, let's say 7, right, random, 2007, right. There were hundreds of options, right? And so that was important because not only was it not exactly linear or perfectly cohesive with the news that you were finding out. Well, it kind of was. It was just from a different source, but it was more of a reflection of identity, right? And in a time right now where people are you know are imposing their beliefs in their their faith onto people, to try to tell them their identity. I think that looking back at that is very important, because it was more than just, a lot of people today don't really want to signify the importance, the relevance of the turn of the century, especially because millennials were born and getting older, and they became the target audience. And I can't really speak on being a target audience as an adult, with the transition of more relevant um sorry with more relevant media and literature and all that, transitioning to become more targeted to the youth. But honestly, I don't think that it was as rough as it is, especially for millennials, because Gen excuse me, Gen Z right now is kind of very known for their how do I put it in an appropriate way? Because I've been calling it something different outside of live, right? But it's very brown nosing, right? For against millennials, because the boomers, right? Z Y X W. Yeah, it was the boomers, not the Gen Y. Um, because the boomers like literally dragged millennials for ever since the 2YK started, ever since the turn of the century. It's always been against millennials. So they refuse to give us anything, in a sense of, the turn of the century was important. Not only was it important because it happened, but it was important because a lot of different things, were created, were invented. A lot of trends, media was beginning to start, being looked at in a different way, and all that was important. Besides the fact that it happened, it was history. Nobody can nobody can take away the fact that selfies trended for what, almost damn near a decade, right, chat? But we live in this world right now that is denying the fact that that even happened, that even existed, because everybody wants to brown nose against millennials. Everybody wants to brown nose against 2YK culture, because it's a trend, right? And I'm saying that to get to a point, but we're gonna get to it. But I think that we need to look back at that and evaluate it, whether you were alive then or not, because during that time I was listening to music from the 90s. I was listening to music to artists that were not alive when I was born. I was listening to music that had came out before I was born, because it was being shared to me, it was being suggested to me on the internet, and that was important. Just because you weren't alive then is not an excuse, right, chat? Y'all keeping up? Send me some emojis, send me some star emojis, right, if you're keeping up. That's not an excuse, because people want to deny that it happened altogether. People want to ignore its existence altogether. But that is leading, obviously, because of where we are today, with all this political nonsense that's going on, all this bigotry that's going on, this racism that's going on, this ignorance rising to the top, is that, hold on, let me get a drink, because because people don't want to admit that culture shifted, that the way that we look at media in the news, in TV, in the radio, in books, in literature shifted because nobody wants to admit that they're not flexible with critical thinking. So let's talk about it, right? Because y'all already know, I have to encourage y'all, right? Because your vision is just as important to me as it is to you, right? Because your vision is important, your vision is relevant, your vision is as important to me in your personal growth as it is to you. Not just your perspective, not just your financial success, but all of it, the whole picture, right? So we need to talk about significance, and I'm gonna drop some wisdom for y'all. So pay attention because it's gonna get good, right? So the first point that I have to drop, right, is that you need to be asking yourself as a leader, you need to be asking yourself this: do you want to be a successful leader, or do you want to be a significant leader? That's why we're talking about significance right now, because it is important when it comes to leading with an ego, leading with authority, and leading with your presence. Because one of those leaders, I'm not going to tell you which one, you have to figure it out. You have to, you know, think about it critically and figure it out for yourself. But one of those leaders is both those things, and the other leader is only relevant. One of those is only important because they are successful, because they did the work, they built up their resume, they became successfully they became financially successful, they did all the work to leverage themselves up into a position, right? Meanwhile, the other one, a significant leader, is a leader that will not be direct about what they feel like is important in that moment, in that time, in that era, in that season of life with the people following them. They will, talk about the things that are relevant, the things that are important, the things that are significant, right? To have an impact, to lift people up, right? To really, what's the word I'm looking for? To really lift other voices up, right? To pour into people. And it's important right now that we are asking ourselves these questions, because a lot of people out there don't know who the leaders are. They don't know who is really in control. They don't know, what they think on their own. They want to be told what to think and how to do it. People don't know how to be financially successful. People don't know how to be spiritually successful. People don't know how to celebrate their individuality. There are so many people out there, chat. Listen to my heart when I say this. There are so many people out there, chat, that don't know how to celebrate others. And it's only because they don't know how to celebrate And the difference, chat, that you need to understand, and I'm going to tell you this, the difference, chat, that you need to understand between a leader that is, self-promoting, right? A leader that is leveraging in themselves, a leader that is using authority, a leader that is using power. In the difference between a significant leader is a leader that is worried about those things for their followers, because a significant leader is gonna gain from their own beliefs, from lifting people up, not from what they are doing. That's why I called it self-promoting, because a leader that is using authority is only gonna get as far as their energy is put into it, as far as their work is gonna be put into it, and then it stops. But someone significant, are you listening? Someone significant is going to last longer than their lifespan. It's gonna do greater things when the time is needed, and they don't have to put in more and more and more and more energy and effort and work, because they know, they understand, they're thinking critically, they're being flexible, they're adapting to change, and they want what's best for their followers. That is a significant leader. So hear my heart when I say this, chat, because it is so important. It is so important, okay? That it is 100% okay to want to be a successful leader. But when you are a significant leader, you are also a successful leader that leads with presence, that leads with love, that leads with understanding, that leads with empathy, right? But a successful leader isn't always significant. And I have to thoroughly let you guys know, especially with this brand, because that is so important to me. That is one of my core brand messages that I teach you guys about leadership, because I am a prophet that understands that a good leader will have followers. Are you paying attention, chat? That will respect and admire them. But a significant leader will have followers and people that watch and listen to them, that respect and admire themselves. You guys know I live stream all the time talking about leadership. It's so important to me. It's so important to me to the point where I had to not only kick off this brand with talking about leadership and talking about the authority behind your presence, the power behind your essence, because it's so important to me. That is going to be my legacy, chat. That's going to be my legacy. Before anything on this brand is done, you're going to know one thing, that you are a leader. It has nothing to do with me. Like I said a few minutes ago, your vision, your goals, your personal growth is so important to me. Your perspective is so important to me. Your intuition, your insight is so important to me, because your experiences aren't what mold you and shape you into something that you don't have control of. Either you break or you bend, but you can always take it and flip it. Trust me, as a prophet, I know it. I know it, Chad. There are so many leaders out there who are sleeping within themselves because they don't even know that they are a leader. And so y'all need to pay attention because it's gonna get vital. But another thing I want to share was that, you know, both of those types of leaders are successful, right? The significant leader and the leader leading by authority. But we need to talk about the difference because I really have come to understand from a lot of experience in life, right? That you can want for yourself. That's easy. That's, instinct. That's human nature. But to want bigger for not just yourself, because that's easy too. A lot of people want more for themselves, to do something relevant, because we all feel small. We all feel existential sometimes. We all have doubts. We all get negative thoughts. But when you want to do something big for the world, and I believe that is you, Chad. I believe that's you. You have to understand. You have to understand the difference between that glory in being admired, in the difference between being successful because you are being significant in someone's life. Let's talk about it because how many of y'all have seen the movie The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith? Right? Let me know in the chat because I love that movie. I own that movie. I love that movie so much. It impacted my life incredibly. It impacted my life insanely, right? Love that movie. Okay, some of y'all have. Let me know if you haven't, and I will we'll talk about a different movie, right? But but we are talking about the scene when he is out on the basketball court with his son, right? Jaden Smith, who is his son in real life. We're talking about the scene where he's out on the basketball court with his son, and his son is trying to shoot the ball. Keep in mind, his son's probably like 5 at the most, or really young. So he's shooting the ball. He's not great at basketball, and Will Smith says, I don't know. Is this your dream? I don't know. When his son is shooting the ball, right? And he's watching him shoot the ball, and he's not that good at it. Keep in mind, he's really young. He's not that good at it. So his dad starts giving him the logistics, right? That, I used to love to play basketball too, and I was only average. So, the way that works, right, chat? Okay, I see a couple people who've seen that movie. He starts giving him the logistics. So he starts telling his son, you'll probably end up, somewhere around where I used to play basketball, because that's the way that it works, right? And so after he's giving him the logistics, he tries to shoot the ball, and then he passes the ball back to his kid, and he breaks it to him, Chad. He breaks it to his son. You'll probably be good at a lot of things. You will probably be good at most things that you do. But the way that it might work out, I don't want you out here, always playing basketball late into the night. And he passes the ball back to his son. And his son's like, yeah, okay. Even though he can tell that his son is passionate about playing basketball. So Chad, when he passes the ball, he waits for his son and he tells him, oh, go ahead, try to shoot the ball. And his son is upset because of what his dad told him. And so he's waiting for him to shoot the ball. He dribbles it a couple of times, right, Chad? He dribbles the ball a couple of times. And then he just throws the ball and walks off. That's when Will Smith in the movie realizes what he said. And he just watches him as he's putting the ball away, and then he walks over to his son up against the fence. And this is when he thinks about what he said, and he looks at his son and says, hey, and I don't know the words exactly. Because I haven't seen that movie in a minute. But he says, hey, don't let anybody in this world tell you you can't do something. Now, chat, I'm not telling you this scene in this movie because of what the dad said to the kid after he hurt the kid's feelings about playing basketball. Sorry. After what he said to hurt his son's feelings about playing basketball. Chat, I'm telling you this scene because it's important about the impact of what he said. Because the whole movie is about a struggling father trying to take care of his son and inspire his son and lead his son in the right direction. So there's a bunch of lines in that movie, yeah. But it's just the fact that he wanted to. He tried. He was persistent. He was consistent. He led with a firm hand, chat. It's not always about leading with power and authority. Because anybody can do that. Anybody can do that to become a leader. But when you are a great leader and you want to be a better leader, which you should, lead with impact, with change, with growth, and you will be significant, okay? What's up, you guys? So we are having a conversation about wellness, success, and mindset, and how these three things and the strategies that I built, the structures that I built around them, how they completely 100% changed my life around. And I was lucky enough for it to, take off from the beginning and really bless me and bless my life. I've never had to look back. I've never had to doubt or be unsure or be scared. And I'm going to teach you everything that I know about wealth and success and that mindset. And hopefully by the end of it you learn something from me. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to put your best foot forward and to start. Not be afraid, but to just start whatever it is that you may want to be. So from my story, I basically launched my brand Profit Culture, which is the spiritualist brand, because I became a spiritual coach in 2024, which was my New Year's goal, to become a spiritualist, to become a life coach, and to graduate from my academy to become a modern applied psychologist. I ended up graduating from the spiritualist class in 2024, the same year. So I had did one of the three, right? The next one was becoming a life coach. And when I became a life coach, I had I was working at a dead end job that I hated. Everyone was racist. They were mean to me. They picked on me because I was the only black person, and it really ruined my life.
having to wake up knowing that I would have to go into that dead end job and work for less than half of minimum wage, right? So I had just became a life coach, and 3 months later I quit that job because I couldn't take it. Something happened, and due to that event I used it as my excuse to get out while I could, and save the little bit of self-respect that I had left. And I quit knowing that I was still in my academy class online to become a modern applied psychologist. I had only been a life coach for 3 months tops, and I was not coaching yet. And I basically was planning to work that job and slowly transition to launch my brand so I could transition into my personal brand and never have to work a real job again once I transition out of that job. But a couple months later I ended up quitting, and it has ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me, because after that decision I decided to lock in. I graduated from my academic course in 2025. In 2026, right? So I graduated. My brand is gonna launch later on this year in 2026, if not 2027. I launched my brand. I started coaching spiritually and as a life coach, and I am just pushing forward the best way that I know how, and then everything is just miraculously falling in place because I know that the universe is looking out for me. So enough about me. We are going to get into the tips, and the first tip that I have for you is that the truth is a spade. A lot of people like to weaponize their truth, their emotions, their opinions, and this is a valid excuse for you to do the same thing. I went a really long time being a victim of people weaponizing their truth, weaponizing their past experience, and weaponizing their trauma against other people, and I fell victim to that more times than anything else has ever took place or became an event or an experience in my life. I have been a victim to people weaponizing their truth because what they know is the truth and they can't be told otherwise. Why? Because the truth is a spade, and you need to understand 3 very valuable things, and I hope you are paying attention or plan to at least watch this video again, because the first one is that if you trust the universe will provide for you. If you trust the universe will provide for you, because the truth is you don't have to continue to sacrifice. You don't have to give up what you love, what you cherish, what you hold close to your chest, because you can find a way no matter what. You just need to know what is valuable, what is going to work, and what is realistic to break open those doors, to bust down any door that people are think that they're going to close in your face. And this is important because in the context of the truth being a spade, because you just need to know that it's going to at least be somewhat plausible, right? And nothing else is gonna let you second guess that. We need to have that trust in the universe. The way that the universe works is not a give and take. The universe is all about balance. But first thing first, what you need to realize is that the universe is not a god. The universe is not a man that would let you down. The universe is not a judgmental sword wielding, thunder point throwing deity that is judging you. The universe is all about balance, not about in the sense of give and give and give and give and you will receive one thing. or constant tests or challenges in your reality, the truth is you are not trusting of the universe to do nothing, to relax, to rest in the universe providing for you for everything to work out. You need to learn to trust it, to rest in it, and to actively find peace in the fact that everything will be in alignment if you trust the universe. Okay? Because my horoscope for this year was, I listened to it January. My horoscope was that I was going to finally get to explore. And as a Sagittarius, that is a big thing for Sagittarius, because Sagittarius love to wander, to explore, and to go on adventures. And this was an certain specific exploration or adventure, if you want to call it that would be life transforming. Everybody's horoscope, because I did listen to all of them, everybody's horoscope had some type of transformation that was huge. And I found this very interesting, how fulfilling, out of all the years that I have been alive, that this is finally what is the epitome of being a Sagittarius, is to go on an adventure, to travel, to be free. And there was no condition, no rules, no set, you give this and then it'll happen. It was just maintaining and opening up for the reality of the opportunity to come into fruition. And I believe that this year I was going into 2026 so blindly, and I went into 2025 so blindly, ready and screaming the entire time that I was not going to complain, that this was a worse year than 2024, that this was a worse year than 2023, that I was not as tired as I was in 2022. I was not gonna let the cycle keep on going. And when the cycle broke, because the alignment of the stars, I was allowed to go into 2026 blindly and be taken care of, and know that there was a plan, to know that there was a promise for me, right? And so you need to be actively actively resting, actively trusting, actively knowing that it will fall into place, because everything is already in alignment for you. My second point is very simple. It's a very, very simple point, but it's gonna make sense at how valuable it is once we get to the end of the video. But my second point for this one is to pour into someone, and let that be the avenue, the pathway, the gateway, the open door for someone to pour into you. And I know that sounds simple, but we often underestimate the power of having a mentor, or having a teacher, because we feel uncomfortable being the student. I was a student for 4 years after I graduated decades ago. And I was a student again, and I honored it and appreciated it and had so much gratitude for it. Why? Because someone was willing to put themselves out there to pour into me, because they cared, because they are well, because they wanted to pour into someone and lift them up, to breathe life into them. And ironically, I learned a really long time ago that my purpose just so happened to be pouring into people. So I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to sell them something or push a product in their direction or want them to buy my online course, right? No, it's because I became successful and I became healthy in wellness. I get to care all because it fell in alignment with my purpose. So I want to ask you, what is what is falling in alignment with your purpose that has to do with your goals? Okay? And that is this point, because the one who acts and thinks for himself only is only in reality in more need than the voice that is being silenced. Okay? But moving on to my third and final point, I think that it is very hard to hear that a truth or the sorry, I think that it's very hard to hear that the truth is a spade. It is a very hard truth, right? But it's true. It's just not the kind of truth that you go and have a full-on conversation about. So that's why my third point is that it is okay. It is 100% okay to know your truth, to become successful in whatever you do. It is okay. Okay? I want you to be able to build because you know yourself. You know what you need. You know what your brand needs. You know what your company needs. You know what your LLC needs, whatever it may be. Your aesthetic, your image, your gimmick. You know what it needs because you know what you need. Okay? And that is so valuable in a time where we live in a space where if you don't know who you are, the world will definitely 100% without a doubt try to tell you who you are. Try to fold and bend identities that do know who they are. So imagine living in a world where you are confused and unsure or afraid or sad or angry. It is okay to feel those things. They are not there to hurt you. They are your guide. So I want you to put a pin in that because we are going to talk about that a little bit later. But for my second point, after the truth is a spade, I wanted to share my second point, that creativity is your strength. I want you guys to honor the creativity that you are chasing in this job. Do not fear it. Don't, question it. Don't doubt. Don't get mad at it because you feel like it is causing you to have to sacrifice or give up or change directions or turn around, because those are all signs of growth in reality. And the creativity is not the goal. It was the opportunity that we bring to ourselves through allowing the universe to work through us. It's called the universe, you guys. Not the they-universe, not the God-iverse, not the source-iverse, the universe. That's why it's important. That's why it is valuable, because the creativity is what made you feel brave enough to elect yourself right? To elect yourself because you thought that you could do it. So go and do it any way, anyhow that you can. Okay? I kind of spent a very, very long time on those points for my first point. So we are going to just go straight into the third point, which is honor the feeling. So my third and last point is that I want you guys to honor the feeling. It is so important because I had to learn this with writing my book, right? Because 2021 I had finished my second book ever, and I've been a writer my entire life. And for some reason, I didn't decide to finish my first book. I decided to try to get that book published, and querying it was hard. It was emotionally draining. It drained everything I had and kept taking. It made me sad. It made me angry. I was scared. I was so overwhelmed. All those emotions at once, every day while querying that book. And eventually, I never got it published. It's 2026, and I'm proud to say that the pre-order for my book is already up and posted all over the internet. And my new book, The Codebreaker Bible, will be out sometime next year. And I did it on my own, not with querying a book, not with stressing myself out, not with worrying, not with fear, not with overwhelming myself, right? That's why this point is important, because honoring the feeling is what made me feel brave enough to try to get and publish my own book my own way.
But we are going through a season where I feel like it is important because we are collectively, not just me, not just, one other person, going through it. So we need to talk about social justice. So we are going to be having a couple of video essays, not just one, not just two, where we are talking about I don't know where to put it. Okay, right there, it's perfect. I need to figure that out before I start mine. So we are going to have, a couple errors later on as well, where we are discussing social justice, politics, and you guys don't have to worry. It's not going to be super, super political because it's not based on any political view or stance, but there are things that we need to be having open conversations about. And I am aware that a lot of people don't understand, when or where it's appropriate or how to do it, even though they feel like they have a voice or have something that they want to talk about. And I also understand that there are people who don't know, what they believe necessarily, in a sense of what's going on and where they stand in the matter of all the chaos that's going on because of the political, events that are taking place that are causing a lot of chaos right now. The government shutdown is over, thank God, and Trump is back in charge. I don't necessarily know exactly what happened, but it is December 20th and everything is back in motion. But at the same time, people are also talking about how Trump is still messing up, but people that were vocal about Trump and his mistakes and Trump messing up everything have fallen quiet. I'm not one of those. I have already decided, since Trump has been making all these crazy decisions, I have decided, since Trump has already started making these crazy decisions, that I know my place in all of this. I know where I stand in all of this. I know what I'm thinking and what I think about, all the political events taking place. So I am going to firmly stand on what I believe in and try not to argue with the far right, because there are things that are worth my time and effort and energy, right, chat? And there are things that are not. So in this place, in this time, I have been called to a place to just stand and affirm. I have been called to a place to, not necessarily be in the on the front line and be the loudest or the most rebellious, even though that is very much what I want to do. I have been called to a place to just remember, right? To make sure that they are going to stand on those actions, to make sure nobody is just saying whatever they want to say, nobody is just doing whatever they want to do, but I am going to be the one to hold people accountable for what they say, what they do, what they're doing. And later on down the road, we will be talking about everything that did go on and how it could have been fixed or done better, and exactly why I think that the government is more of a affirmative action, one set answer, one affirmative answer, more than coming up with the best option or meeting in the middle. But that will come in a later time. And so I want to encourage you guys to stick around for that, or at least look for it, later on, within the next year, because this month is already almost over, amen. So we are going to get into a little social justice talk, just a little one, to start this era off. And we're kicking it off talking about so the ego is a belief system, a construct of what you believe, what you um identify with, what you um what you perceive, and your beliefs and what you think, and all that put together. And it's all the things that you and it's all the things that you identify with, that you agree, affirm, or reflect your identity. I think that it's a safe place for us right now in this moment, because it has fallen quiet, but there is going to be, definitely going to be a rise, especially with the rise of artificial intelligence, and and the tech business industry booming more than ever, with a lot of innovation, a lot of different change that is going to come, that is going to very much be pushed down your throat if you aren't on the boat with it. So today, I wanted to talk about, the ego, right? Today we are talking about leading, right? Today we are talking about embodied light work, right, chat? Can I get some fire emojis in the chat? Because we are talking about how to lead, right, with your presence, not your ego. So I don't think. Okay, we're gonna get into that. Just trust me. Okay, just trust me, chat. We're gonna get into it. But I think that first we have to talk about leadership and the parallels of, you know, things like the things that are happening now. Not any exact specific, not any exact specific event, but just when these things happen. But first we have to talk about what that has to do with why we're talking about leadership, right? Because I also believe, and I didn't tell my team this, but I also believe that it's kind of ironic in a way that we're talking about leadership now, because I do believe that it is a little bit too late for that. We can always learn to be leaders. We can always learn leadership skills. We can always learn to sharpen our skills and sharpen, our ability to knowledge. I mean, to our ability. We can always sharpen our ability to gain knowledge, but I think that the time and place for that is a little bit past us, right? But we are talking about leadership from presence, not ego, because it's important that we are talking about authority and having open conversation about that. But it is also time, believer, it is also time for us, believer, that we are talking about sharpening our skills. Okay? Okay, Chad? So we're going to get into it, because now is the time for us to rise up, to stop being quiet, to stop being the hidden community, to stop being in the shadows, to stop living behind the line, because we need to start sharpening. We need to start sharpening our skills, our perception, our intuition, our communication skills, our ability to learn, right? Because it is present, because it is present, it is present right now, it is here in face to face with us. Sorry, it is here and face to face with us. So we have to have the skills and the ability to not only navigate, because we are not a community, as new age believers, that that can safely live behind the line already, right? We are not a community that, you know, um, lives by normal means or traditions, and that will come into effect very, very soon. And I believe that now or never is at least our time to, communicate with each other and unite, to gather, to connect. Um, it doesn't have to be all protests and rallies and taken to the streets, right? But it does need to be very smart, very strategic. It does need to be very put together, because the government has made it clear already what they care about, and what they're gonna do to get it. It's our job to make sure that they stand on that, that they do what they say they're gonna do, because we don't care about that in the first place. You can do what you want to do, but able to be you're gonna have to be able to stand on that. And we are here, right? Me and you, the prophets, the heroes, the poets, the warriors, the wanderers, the witches, the sages, all of us, we are here to make sure that you are gonna be held accountable for your word. We are here to make sure you are gonna be held accountable for um the sacrifices that you have made for smaller, marginalized communities, right? So I think that it's important that we talk about leadership, yes, but we also need to talk about intuition. We also need to talk about perception. We also need to talk about belief, because in a time, like I said a minute ago, there will be a time when you know the business industry, I mean the tech business industry, will be booming, whether we are ready or not. So we need to be coming up with systems. We need to be, inventing our own constructs, because we should have been doing that in the first place. We need to be coming up with that stuff, because they should not be able to tell us what we believe when we believe it, and have control, complete control over us, because we should have our own systems and constructs and beliefs that back what we say, without needing systems and constructs like the ones that are working against us. Does that make sense, Chad? So, Prophet, listen to me when I say this, that you cannot not believe in the system. You cannot, stand against the system. You cannot, hate the system, rebel against the system, work against all these social constructs that, you disagree with or hate, even, right, Prophet? But still rely on them. You will get nowhere. You will get nowhere but the ability to work backwards and think that it is the right direction. And yes, we can, to further that metaphor for a second. Yes, we can yes, we can redirect. Yes, we can, make a decision. Yes, we can go, quote unquote, the long way around to get to where we need to go to solve these problems. But that is not the problem for us, believer, prophet. We are in a time where we need to be creating skills and talent and sharpening our knowledge and communicating and sharing our wisdom within the constructs that we have created, because the social constructs do not work for us. For too long we have been settling to um to living under these constructs, to working under these constructs, to not saying anything, right, over these social constructs, these belief systems, these traditions, these political views that we don't even believe in. It is time for us to make our own, to sharpen them and to weaponize them. For when the time comes, we need to be ready. And I'm not saying that that time is here and now. I'm not even saying that, we are facing something, dangerous, and we need to weaponize and we need to unite and we need to communicate. No, we need to be doing that stuff already. So let's get into it. So, like I said, an ego is the belief in identity of your thoughts, but not all of it. It's all the things that you affirm and that you agree with, right? It's all the things that you affirm and you agree with. A lot of people that consistently watch my stream, I call them prophets, right? So a lot of prophets out there in the chat are affirming within themselves, yes, I agree with that, I am a prophet. Yes, I agree with this, it affirms that I am a prophet. Yes, I agree with this because I'm a leader, and that means that I'm a prophet, right? And then you are also saying, no, that doesn't work for me because that contradicts with my belief, because I don't believe in this part of it, right? That is an ego with all your thoughts. It's not 100% approval, it's not 100% dismissal, right, with your thoughts. But your ego is what you identify with, that you feel reflects your identity. So that is an ego. Let's talk about, okay, now leadership, right? Leadership is the role, right? Yeah, come on, Chat is going crazy right now. That's crazy. Look at it blow up. Everybody's like, yeah, because we got prophets, right? All the fire emojis. That's right. Send me some fire emojis. Send me some star emojis right now in the chat if you are tapped in, if you are locked in. Because a leader, right? Y'all are going crazy. A leader is the person in the head role that is not just taking charge, the person responsible for everybody else on the team. the leader is the person that's going to take charge. So let's get into it. I want to know, leave me a message in the chat and tell me, because y'all know this is recorded. I'm going to come back and look at all of them. Everybody, I don't care how long it takes you for you to get your message in the chat, but just send it to me. What do y'all think that being a leadership being a leadership what do y'all think being a leader and me explaining the definition of an ego have to do with each other before we get into it? Because leadership can, unfortunately, and I will say unfortunately, but you know, we have to accept that things are out of our control. That's just the way, the universe works. That's just the way the world is. We should not walk of this earth. We should be of it. Right? We come from the earth. And we will one day return back to it. Okay? As a prophet, respectfully, right? Respectfully. So I think that we need to have a conversation about leading instead of ego. Now, if you are paying attention, you will notice that I explained what an ego was. I explained what a leader is, but those things don't exactly have kind of enough correlation to be opposites, right? If you're paying attention. The prophets are mad right now. They're mad. They want me to hurry up and get to the point, to dive in. We're going to get into it. I promise you, chat. I promise you, chat. But they're not really cohesive enough to be opposites, as in they don't have enough similarities. Remember that, chat, because it's going to be important. But I think that they correlate just enough for us to want to take action, right? To embody the light work that we be doing, right? To truly embody the leadership that we are always seeking, right? How many truth seekers are in the chat right now? Send me some emojis, whatever emojis you want, 5 of them in a row, because we are the enlightened, we are the truth seekers, right? But the sad part about it is that being a truth seeker feels way too much. And this is the sad truth of the nature. And its nature feels way too much like sheep instead of the shepherd. In embodying the light work, because y'all know I love me some light work. I love me some light work. All I do is light work, right? A little bit of shadow work every now and then, right? All but too much feels like the sheep instead of the shepherd of authority. Now, what am I saying by that? I am saying that, it is one thing to be a predator capable of being able to defend yourself. It is another thing to be a predator and to be able and willing to attack and kill for your food, to feed your family, right? To feed your loved ones, right? To defend your pack, right? Right, chat? But it is another thing to be a sheep needing a shepherd because you need to be led. Now, prophet, I do not want you to be confused. I do not want you to be confused. So let me explain, because none of you And because I know it for a fact. I know it 100% with all my body, mind, and spirit. None of y'all prophets are sheep. None of the prophets in the chat right now, or that will see this or have seen this in the past, because we are a community and I know it, right? Are sheep who are being called to be shepherds. Why? Because we have grown, we have communicated, we have united, we have gathered, right? We have studied and understood and worked with our truth, right? Worked with our inner light, right? Worked with the dark parts about us, right? But we are not the sheep being called to be shepherds. We are the shepherds looking for sheep to lead. And this is exactly what I mentioned before about the fact that we cannot wait. We cannot wait. We can't wait, chat. It is now or never. The time is never. And I mean, the time is never. The time is now. Why? Because we are in a time right now where, we are being force fed. We are being, told who we are. We are being, lied to about our real identity. And that means that they are capable, not just willing, to do whatever they need to silence us, to shut us up, and to get us to follow and be their sheep. And newsflash to all of everybody in the chat, all of y'all, sheep, shepherd, prophet, hero, poet, warrior, sage, practitioner, believer, they don't care. And we should have been the truth is that there is no one left to herd into the sheep except for the shepherds at this point. We need to be careful because they are coming for us. They're coming for what we believe in. They, are gonna do whatever they want to, whatever they deem fit for a bigger cause, for a bigger picture, right? Because they don't need more sheep. Or maybe they need more sheep, so they're willing to make the shepherds sheep to feed the wolves, right? Claiming that they're the shepherd, right? The biggest lie they're gonna tell you is that there can only be one shepherd. So, chat, you tell me right now in the chat. You tell me what you believe in. Do you think a herd of, let's say, 200, 300 sheep can be herded by one shepherd? I think they can. I think a shepherd with the right amount of guard dogs can do anything, right? If he has enough of them, they can do all the heavy lifting and he just lead the way, right? Pay attention. It's going to come into play. It's going to come into play. But I also think you cannot have too many shepherds for one flock. But that is what they're telling us. Imagine trying to get 1,000 sheep with no sheepdogs, right? Imagine trying to get 1,000 sheep, some trained, some not trained, to follow you. I don't know a good distance, across the state. That that one is gonna be hard. On foot, it's gonna be hard. So, Prophet, understand this before we go any further. You need to understand you can herd the sheep all you want to. You can seek knowledge all you want to further that metaphor. You can find the wisdom, spread the love, give and receive the love to, seek the knowledge, right? All you want to. But never, 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 never let them convince you you have to do it or you are better off by yourself. Or there will come a time and place where you will become the sheep and not the shepherd, because there can only be one. That is the biggest lie that they're going to sell you. And I was walking window shopping. You know how I love window shopping, chat. And I saw it. I saw it in the window. And Prophet, I have something to tell you. It's on sale. They are going to try to tell you there can only be one. And if anybody's going to be the one, it's going to be you. It's going to be you, chat. Because you are the one. You are the prophet. You are the way. And they are going to try to convince you, not hurt you or cheat you or lie to you. They probably will manipulate you. But they are going to try to tell you that there can only be one shepherd. So let's get into it, because we are talking about leadership, yes. But we're talking about the difference between leadership and authority. Why? Because the two cannot coexist. Chat, I have to be 100 with y'all right now. If you are in my live stream right now and you believe that you have to use authority over your presence, then you can leave right now, because I don't even want you here. That's not how we should move as believers. It's not how it should work. We need to understand that there are bigger things coming into play, bigger than us, bigger than anything we have ever imagined. And it is going to be time for us to not dream about the greatness anymore. There's going to be a time for us to not, live in the goodness of being a believer anymore. It will become dangerous for us. And one of those signs, one of those clear signs, Prophet, hear me, is that they are going to tell you there can only be one shepherd. Another one, they're going to tell you, are y'all paying attention? Okay, thank you, Chad. Somebody answer that quick. Are y'all paying attention? Let me know. Oh, and also thank you, Andrew, for being locked in with me. Thank you. I appreciate it more than the world. I'm waiting. Come on, Chad. Pay attention. Yeah, okay. I'm getting some yells. I'm getting some fire emojis. Getting some yells. Someone said leadership is the aura. Yeah, yeah, it is. Tap in. Okay, chat. Getting some yes. Getting some yes. Getting some fire emojis. Getting some yeah. Okay. So we need to talk about it, right? Because there's a difference. There is a difference, and we know it, and you now know it. You also, sorry. You also now know that the sign could be being told, or no, the sign could be leadership through authority, through power, through leverage, right? Through aggression, rather than using your presence, than using your ego. That is a clear sign. And one of our biggest problems on the left, whether you're far right or far left or anything in between, right? Or you are a person who chooses not to have a political stance. I respect all of it. The problem is we are being way too quiet about seeing the signs. They are capable and able and more than willing to call us out for calling those red flags when we see it and we know it. We know it. Call out the red flags. Call out the signs that this is not good. Continue to be loud. Continue to be loud.
What's up, you guys? We are back again for another video where we are talking about balancing individual freedom and communal order and what that means. We're going to talk about the definition. We're going to be talking about how it is important and why it's important and how we can contribute to the communities around us to build them and lift them up. Let's jump into it. But first, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jordan Exalt. This is Profit Culture, where we talk about symbolism, storytelling, systems, and human behavior from the lens of philosophy. Let's jump into today's video. So first thing first, I think that it's important that, we could deconstruct what community means for a second, and I think that that's important because that's a great place to start by defining what we see community as, what we see culture as, right? Because those things are what make the vision. They are the reflection of the people, not so much individually, but community is pretty much the foundation of the reflection of the people as a voice as a whole. Does that make sense? So the reason I'm asking is because there are communities that are still being stepped over, being marginalized, being looked over, being looked past, as community groups that we need to be doing something about. So I'm asking you guys to deconstruct with me, what does that even mean? What does that culture, that reflection of culture even really mean, right? Because we can say we understand a community, but at the end of the day, if we don't really understand where that community is coming from, how it formed, why it has a structure and systems and a foundation, then we can't understand what we need to protect them from, how we need to protect them the right way. Does that make sense? So with today's video, I'm asking because I don't know, it just seems like a very far off imbalance of what really needs to be going on, and we're blaming media, we're blaming propaganda that's not even really propaganda. We are deconstructing about communities that need to be protected, not the communities that needs to be dismantled. So I think that it's important that we are having this conversation because at the end of the day, yes, we can dismantle or build up communities, but at the end of the day, those communities still are individual people who are contributing to spaces that reflect their identity. So I'm going to be asking you guys to think about that throughout this video, because at the end we're going to deconstruct using what we think or have an idea about community and culture and trends in media, what that has to do with the bigger picture, okay, at the end of the video. But first, I wanted to talk about enlightenment, because I think that through some of these okay, well, first of all, I think that it could be a very, very broad picture. That meaning that it could be easy to miss the point, miss what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like, for example, we'll use my community on the private Facebook group. That I think that when it comes to my private spiritual community, we have a lot of conversation about the divine. We have a lot of conversation about enlightenment. And I think that that is important to notice, right? Because of how and why that community chose to form. Now, this is important because the truth is, when we have a community that we are a part of because we want to feel safe, because we want to feel a part of something, because we want to be surrounded by like-minded people, right? I think that it's important because it really can be a lot more obvious that people are here in the community for that reason, right? To talk about divinity, to talk about enlightenment, to talk about awakening and having an awakening moment, right? But I think that when you're not paying attention because there are other things going on, because there are other jobs that need to be taken care of in your community, that you miss the picture and you never get to see outside of the frame, just like everybody else in your community. So I wanted to break it down because I understood that it's easy on Facebook to look at what's trending, the trending topics in your group. It's easy to look at what has been posted about the most on Facebook private groups, right? So I know why people are joining, why people are coming in, why people are staying, why people are, meeting and having their own individual experience within this community, right? So the reason I wanted you guys to think about that, the reason I use enlightenment as the very first topic is because that is a good example of the effects of being in a community, because that's what's important. That's what we're talking about, because being in a community, whether you're there for whatever reason, right? Whatever reason you're there for, it's about how that community affects your life, by how the community inspires you, how the cause and effect of that community, your intentions with that community, and the transparency of how you feel when you're within that community. But it's also not just about that individual person, it's about every single individual person and the effects of what they think the community is about and what they think the community is for, the vision of the community, the future of the community, getting inspired by the community, the cause and effect, the intentions, the transparency, and the mindset. And that's what we need to talk about, because we're going to use enlightenment as the example. Enlightenment, when everybody's coming, everybody's talking about having an awakening, reaching an awakening moment, talking about dreams, talking about astrology, talking about science, divinity, numerology, right? And there are a lot of different avenues and paths and pathways that open, different doorways that come within a community that cannot always all of them can't be monitored, to put it like that, right? So I think that when it comes to we're using enlightenment as the example, I think that when we are hyper focused on ourselves, how we feel about the community, how we feel about how other people feel about the community, how we are reflected by the community, our identity in the representation of that community and us, that is important. But that's not the context of today's video, because we're talking about the communication, we're talking about the consciousness, right? The ecosystem of the community and the development of it through each individual person and what each individual person is doing, right? Because everybody will be in the community until they realize that the community is not elevating anymore. Everybody is willing to strategize for a community until that group, that community is not strategizing for itself, right? The development of that community. But moving on from that, don't worry, we will come back to it. Just put a pin in it and we will come right back to it. So the next topic that we are talking about is individual freedom. So this is my thing about that, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna say it and be transparent with you guys. If you guys think that it's harsh or mean, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth of the matter, and I don't really know how to put it any other way. So I'm sorry, bear with me. I will continue to deconstruct that. But my thing with ascending through the chaos, right, is that not everybody is in communities to be validated or be seen for their struggle, and that causes a lot of conflict in the communities, a lot of friction within communities that never really ever gets worked out in any community I've ever seen or been in. And I do a lot of social justice work. I do a lot of healthcare work, and these communities are way busier with bigger fish to fry than, undoing the friction within their own community because there's no one else to do it. I think that it slows you down when it comes to communication, right? When it comes to being realistic, when it comes to opportunity, because that is a sure way to find people within a community that aren't agreeing. Now, this is important because a lot of communities, like the patriotism, the nationalism, the fighting for your country communities that are, I'm not gonna, categorize them because that would be wrong, but I'm going to just say that those communities all about sacrificing don't have that problem. They don't have that problem on that side because they are willing to more than likely understand they are going to have to give a lot up. And if they're already sacrificing their life, their time, their energy, their money, their all that stuff, that those vital things that are a part of life, they know they're going to have to give up something little, as something like, I want to be seen, I want to be validated, right? So we need to start working out on this side because there is a lot, and this is my problem. This is my problem, that there are a lot of people who need to be validated, who need to be seen. That is our, when it comes down to it, that is the bigger picture that we stand for, that everybody stands for. That is what, like I said, of the first point, the first point, that it's about the bigger picture of why people are within the community. If everybody is here to validate, to make people feel seen, to uplift people, to pour into people, why are we not doing that in our own community? We are sacrificing too much for a bigger picture that is going in the wrong direction in the first place. We're going to have to talk about that in a second. But we are sacrificing for a bigger picture that doesn't matter, that has nothing to do with us, that is about representation, that is about reputation, that is about what other people think about us, opinions, thoughts, their idea of us that don't even really apply. So I think that it's important because we need to be having the conversation. We need to be having the conversation about validating and lifting and pouring into our community before we are out there lifting and pouring into other people. We need to be pouring into our own community, pouring into our own members, right? And then we're going to talk about free will. But honestly, this is coming from a point of view where I'm honestly having to ask, like, what about the conscious awareness? What about it? If you're a spiritualist, what about the consciousness? What about it? What about the awareness that matters in your bigger picture? Because you're sacrificing your freedom, you're sacrificing your free will, just like those communities that marginalize us, that capitalize on us, that spread propaganda about us. You're sacrificing your time and energy and effort in your life, your purpose, your meaning, to be quote unquote realistic about opportunities that are for what, right? So I think that we need to talk about it because it's like you're conscious, you're so conscious, but you're not using it for your own free will to bring other people into their freedom of having a safe space within themselves, bringing people into the awareness of build a safe space for yourself. You're not doing anything to spread awareness. You're not doing anything to spread kindness or peace and love and joy. It's just you're just like them, except for you stand for something different. So make it make sense in these spiritual communities, because I don't know, I've always had this idea that consciousness is about collective unity, being together in that experience, within the with that experience, while being able to coexist with free will. Because a lot of people say that don't match up. I believe consciousness is the answer to that, but y'all don't know how to bring people into a community with the foundation, with the right systems around it, with love, not hate, and bring people into awareness of their free will. So at the end of the day, I'm asking you guys to really deconstruct the meaning of the culture behind it, the communities that you participate in, not deconstruct what free will is, because it's dumb. That's dumb. If you want to actively participate in the matrix, you will. And if you want to live blue pilled in a normal life, guess what? You will. So I'm not asking you to deconstruct about the matrix, right? I'm asking you to deconstruct about the community. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, because we are sacrificing our free will for something that is not going to lead us down the path of a journey that we are meant to be going down. And that's exactly what the enemy wants for us. As a spiritualist, I had to learn a long time ago that you don't have to be 100% wise of everything that is going on around you, but you do have to be 100% ready to jump both feet in. Does that make sense? So going back, like I said, I promised, I told you to put a pin in, that small conversation so we could talk about it now, because we have to break down free will and what free will means to the masses, and what free will means to you. So I think that it gets a little complicated when you think of it as, a place of giving up, sacrificing what you want to get something else in gain of it, right? Because a lot of us have that mentality when it comes to capitalism, when it comes to American nationalism, when it comes to being a ultimate patriot, right? Being a soldier, right? Being able or willing to sacrifice what you love, what you cherish, to get something realistic in opportunity, right? So I think that is important because of two or three things, right? That this is okay, and this is my first claim, that I don't think that we have to live in a capitalist world where we are continuing to sacrifice our time in in giving away our life for capitalist gain, right? To feed the machine, to hand over our lives to propaganda, right? I don't believe in that. So I believe that there will be a way, and I'm gonna make a video very, very soon talking about, how the effects of capitalism, the cause, the reason why, and how that affects the spiritual community. But we're not going to dive too deep into that. But I just wanted to say that when it comes to affecting people's free will and their unwillingness, their ability to sacrifice, it is crucial that we understand two things, right? The first being that if you don't want to, you don't have to. If you don't want to, then you don't have to, because there will be plenty time and space and opportunity for you to make a way, to make a living for yourself. Trust me, because as a depressed teenager filled with social anxiety, having anxiety attacks, having panic attacks every day, up to like 3 a day, and not being able to function, not being able to leave my house. I was skipping school. I was failing every single class. There wasn't a class I was failing. And I only lived and survived from that by holding on to the fact that I was called, I was promised, I was meant to be a leader. And I know that some of you guys understand that in this community, and I still can't wrap my head around it, because I always felt like those people yelled that there's a community out there for that. And this is where it comes into play. Yes, there are communities out there for that, for leaders, for people who want to take up the social responsibility, people who feel the need to handle the obligation, right? Even though they don't have to. But I never thought that there was a community out there for me. And I still held on to that, like the last of my flame, the last of my light. And it brought me through it initially. And I never thought that I would fulfill that prophecy after I didn't get accepted into a college that I wanted to go into, for the field that I wanted to go into, which was public speaking and social justice work, healthcare. I could have done anything. But when I didn't get accepted into college, I ran from it. I ran from spirituality. I ran from God. I stopped talking to the universe. I stopped manifesting. I stopped doing affirmations. I did not care. I did not care. And nothing could make me look back and reconcile. Nothing could make me look back and reconcile. So I was done. For 6 years, I kept running. As soon as it would come up, I would run. I would dash, because I couldn't handle it. I didn't want to. It let me down. I let the universe down, right? But look at where I'm at now. I'm speaking by the alignment of fate with someone who wants to hear the same message that I wanted to hear, that I still need to hear, and speak and breathe into that leader in every single person who has seen this video. Like, geez, you're welcome, YouTube, right? Right? And I'm not trying to say I'm doing something great. It's just the fact that I never thought that I would make it to do something so little, right? And I took that little seed, that little tiny seed, and did something the best to my ability in that seed. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. I didn't preach at you. I didn't scream at you about what you're doing wrong. I didn't try to rage bait you. None of that. I just put my heart into it, and I breathed life into it so it could breathe life into you with the little seed that I had. If I only had that one seed, and I did at the time, if I only had that one seed, I would have put my all into it. And I'm here, and I'm proud of that, and I honor that, and I appreciate that, and I'm grateful for that, because it brought me back to a whole new universe of appreciation and gratitude, to really bask in the glory, the beautifulness of what nature can provide for me, not capitalism. So I want you guys to really start asking questions, because that's where it starts. To start asking the questions. Unique. Because the truth is, you guys know what you can do. I don't know what you can do. The world has not seen it yet. And that's not me saying you have to prove it, but you know what you can do, whether you're running from it, whether you're hiding it, whether you're struggling and just to protect it. There's a community here for you. My community at Profit Culture is here to lift up people who need help and want to be leaders, who want to stand for social justice, who want to better themselves, who want to deconstruct and to lead the way. And I did that after a long time of me thinking I would never get to it because it didn't work out. I believed in capitalism. I believed in in all the things. And it did not work out for me. It let me down. And I'm not making this video because it let me down. I'm making this video because I know what it's like to be stuck in that bubble, that toxic, unhealthy, small world of your comfort zone. So what does that have to do with free will, right? Because I could rant all day about cause and effect in the universe and numerology and how the stars work in astrology, right? I could rant all day about transparency, but the truth is the core of it, that all you need to understand is navigation. That's what my brand is all about, navigation. And I don't necessarily teach anything else. If you're I doubt anybody will see the grand big picture, right? Because it took a lot of planning, a lot went into it. But so that's understandable. But I think if you narrow it down, all it is talking about navigation, how to navigate this world, how to build those structures, how to build those systems, how to build your own machine, because you can. And you can. And you can, right? So I think when it comes to free will, it's not about protecting and being on the defense. I think that it's a lot about you knowing what you want, being precise, and really locking in when it comes to the execution. Knowing what you want, being precise, and logging in when it comes to the execution. Let's talk about it, because a lot of us are, it's not even the fact that we're wishy-washy. It's not even the fact that, it's the truth of the matter is we want to live in our comfortable zone. We want to live in our comfortable zone. That's the truth of the matter. But the fact is we have to be able to break it down in I'm sorry, I saw something in the background. I was like, can I stick my microphone on that? Like, does it have metal on it? So I can stick my microphone on that, and it really distracted me. The truth is we want to live to be comfortable because that's human nature. And so that causes a lot of conflict within what we want for this and what we want for that, because sometimes they bump and they can't coexist. They can't collide. They can't touch. They can't be next to each other, right? So I think knowing what you want in the grand scheme of things is a better way of knowing what you're gonna want tomorrow. Know what you want in the next year and just puzzle piece it together. Navigate it. Puzzle piece it together. That is all this brand is about, is navigating through a spiritual lens, right? The next one is lock in. Wait, what was the know what you want? Execution was the last one. That's why I'm getting tripped up. Knowing what you want, locking in, and execute it. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go back and look at it. So let me explain why I'm giving you the advice to be precise, right? Because this is something that really weighs heavy on my heart, and it's really important for me to share this message, even if I have to share it a million times to get it to one person each time, right? Is that you have to have your eye on the bigger picture. Let me dumb it down, because a lot of y'all understand, but you don't understand why you're getting so mixed up. And I can explain it for you in a simple way that's really, really gonna help you understand. And you'll never, well, I won't promise you won't get mixed up again, but you will really understand, and it will never stop you and turn you back around ever again. How about that? So the reason why you're getting mixed up is because the mixed emotions in the conflict of you wanting to be comfortable, you doing something to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable, but you also want more for yourself. But what your brain is not considering is that when you want more for yourself, you are required to go and put out energy and effort and time and money into it. And when you start risking things that you've never done before, trust me, I know, when you start risking things, that's when your brain makes a connection. And it's like, no, this is going against your comfort zone. This is not going to work. This is too dangerous. This is stupid. This is not a good idea. You're not really using your intuition. You can't see a bigger picture. You don't know if it's going to work out. And the problem with that is everything in this life will take a risk. You have to be mindful of how you're risking, how to perceive, how to really use your intuition. And what I mean by that is you really have to keep your eye on the bigger picture when everything is trying to distract you, when everybody is trying to get you to react, when everybody wants to make you look bad or make you look stupid or make you look like you don't know what you're doing. You have to be able to perceive the bigger picture and shut your eyes in every single moment if it's going to distract you, to really genuinely and authentically not get distracted by having your eye on the bigger picture. And when that, because this is the thing, when that does happen, it often causes a conflict with your body and your mind. Your mind is telling you to go back, but your body is telling you to trust it. But your brain's going to be louder. Sometimes in the middle of the loudness, your body will get loud and you will be convinced for only a little bit of time. But it's all about having that bigger picture set somewhere where you can see it, somewhere where it's obtainable, somewhere where it will get you to a next place where your mind can rest about having stability, having safety, having a sure income, right? So when you are precise, and this is the thing, because it's crazy, because I think about it, how I started writing, and it went from one journal to three, it went from one to three journals to 7 journals to 9 journals in a planner that I completely filled out everything before I moved on to the next one. And my master plan was still not done. My master plan still was not finished. I had essay after essay after essay and dates and quotes that I had thought about, my own philosophy, my own wisdom, right? And it's crazy to think about it, but when I look at that big ecosystem of journals just from journaling, if I stick to that, there's no possible way I could fall off if I stick to it. If I get to the end, I'm gonna be happy because I got to the end of it, because I made it happen, because I did my big one the entire way, or when I could, or I put my all into it. That plan is not just a plan. It's not just someone carrying me the entire way. No. But you need to realize You elected yourself. You elected yourself because you think that you can do it. Because you think that you can do it. So that's just some food for thought. The next one is communication, right? And I think that this is so important from the point that, I think this has always been something that I've struggled with, to be transparent. It's always been something I've struggled with because I am probably one of the most misunderstood people of my generation. Just because from the outside to who I really am on the inside never translated, not even a little bit, right? So I am not gonna lie, I struggle with communication. I do. It's not always easy, it's not always hard though, because this is what I have come to realize, that the last point about execution from my previous point, that makes so much sense when it comes to communication as well. Communication is everything, especially for spiritualists, because they think they're in a world communicating to the United States. They think they're in a world communicating to the president and their political leaders and the people that participate in capitalism and those leaders. But we as people are communicating to everything from us out, all the way out to the universe. And that's not nothing to be scary about, especially when you have to navigate your way through to get to where you want, which is consciousness, which is the universe, which is source, which is God, which is unity in consciousness, right? But with communication, I've come to learn to realize that three things are vital. Three things are vital. We're not going to talk about setting goals because we kind of don't have time to, but we're going to talk about vision, the future, and intention. Vision, the future, and intention. So I think that when you break it down, just like the previous point, that's why I was talking about the execution of it is so important. Because the truth is, you are communicating with your environment, with the things around you, with the organization of your room, right? With the routines you allow into your life, the habits you do, right, are all communication. And then we're communicating with nature, we're communicating with God, we're communicating with the humans around us, we're communicating with the universe. Maybe not all at once, but it's very spiritual. It's very spiritual. And I think that an important key that gets lost in translation is the vision because of translation. Now, hear me out when I say this, because I am not going to say I'm taking a wild guess, because I kind of did my research, but a wild guess to me is that a lot of y'all feel like either one, your voice is not being heard, or two, you feel like your voice does not matter. And that might be from prior experience, right? So I think that if your voice feels damaged or hurt or scared or angry, sad, any emotion, negative connotation, right? If your voice feels damaged in any of those ways, it's because you are struggling with translating your heart to what you mean, and what you mean through your body to this earth. I remember I was only 21 when I went through that experience of just laying, I almost said laying naked. I was, but all that to say, it really meant a lot that I was just meditating in nature and really not having to do much of anything to just communicate with the earth, to have a peaceful, healthy conversation with the universe. And it's crazy because I realized last night that how powerful of an affirmation is to just say, I do nothing. I do nothing, and saying it every 20 or 30 seconds, right? Because imagine you're meditating and you hear a repeated clicking in the background. You are trying to do yoga and you're trying to focus, right? And you hear someone flushing the toilet in the distance, right? No, I do nothing. I do nothing. As in, I do nothing, and those things can come and go and still has no meaning or purpose, right? It's not an attack on me. It's not an insecurity. It's not a distraction. Or I do nothing in a sense of it happened. It comes and goes. And I do nothing. It does not get a reaction out of me, right? I realized how powerful that was. So when it comes to vision, I think you have to have like this all around experience. And it's as simple as having a day where you are just out and about living your normal life, but just actively saying, oh, well, I'm practicing this all around perspective. I'm practicing this all around perspective where I just dial in and see everything for what it really is and nothing more, nothing less. Because I don't want to give my power away to something or somewhere where it does not belong. Does that make sense? I think that is powerful. I think that is amazing. I think it's beautiful as well. Okay, you guys, we are going to take a quick interlude and then we will be back with the rest of this video. So stay tuned. Go use the bathroom, go get a snack, a drink, whatever you need to do, and we will be right back after this quick message. And if you want to skip ahead, because you can do that, or if you are watching on, YouTube TV or whatever it may be, or listening to podcast way, you can skip ahead at the time link down below in the description.
You and I.
What's up, you guys? Hold on. What is that? Oh, wait. Damn, but I need that. Hold on. Sorry, I put you down. Okay. What's up, you guys? Now I need this and that. Okay. What's up, you guys? What's up, chat? Oh, hi, Amara. I see Amara's in the chat. Jacob's in the chat. David's in the chat. Michael's in the chat. What's up, Michael? Mikey. Uh, What's up, you guys? So we are trying to get to the next level right now. I'm on level 6, almost to level 7, and I need your guys' help. So send me gifts if you can. Send me gifts if you can. Send me diamonds. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you, guys. Is the music too loud? You guys have to let me know. Is the music too loud? Oh, well, it kind of turned down a little bit, and I'm still asking. Just let me know. Yes, I did get sick. I got sick 2 days ago. I slept over at my friend's house because he had a party, and I crashed there. And I woke up in the morning feeling like shit. I was waiting outside for my Uber, and it was so fucking cold for like 15 minutes. And I think I was sick before then because he did not have the heat on like a fucking weirdo. So yeah. No, you know what? I did have a blanket. I slept on his couch, and I did have a blanket, but I woke up feeling like shit because it was probably room temperature in that bitch, and it's snowing outside. So, you know, I was bound to get sick. Either that or one of my roommates here had it, and because they're all sick too. And I didn't give it to them because I was the last one to get sick. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was like the last one to get sick. I mean, everybody else is still getting sick, but that's because everybody else is sick, right? Thank you for the diamonds. So yeah, I'm exhausted because I have been laying in bed all day. Well, not today, obviously. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning, but Obviously not today, but for like the past 3 days to try to feel better, and it's not working. I just still feel like shit. At first, I thought it was my sinuses, you guys. Oh, thank you for the silver seal. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Oh, and you know what? Michael said that in the live stream. I feel like that was so funny. Yeah, we sure did. Yeah, they were giving him all kinds of silver seals. But yeah, because I think he said on his last live stream, even though that was like 3 days ago, that he was like level 9, I think he said, or 8. And he was trying to go up a level, and he ended up going up like 2 levels. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the chat. What's up, you guys? What's good? Yeah, so I'm gonna be sniffing all live stream because I do not feel good. Yes, I'm on level 6, so he's a level higher than me. I have been trying to get my live streams up, but I have a hard time focusing when I'm sitting still, when I know I have to sit still, because I don't want to sit still all of a sudden. Yes. Oh, hold on. Let me block you. I do not want you in my chat, bro. So fucking annoying. Yeah, you will get kicked. You will get kicked out of my live stream because you were talking shit. Give a fuck about nobody talking shit on the internet. What the fuck? A faceless profile. What the fuck? Fuck out of here. Thank you, Gabby, for the silver seal. Yeah, so I've been trying to rest, take it easy. I took a 100. I took a 100% break on all the work and all that because I don't know, my brain was kind of fizzling out slowly. So I was just like, why try? Why even bother wasting my time and energy? Was that supposed to be like a smart comment? I mean, I've said that before on my live. I've said that before in my life. I'll say it again because I don't have a job. I don't. Not right now. I don't. But keep in mind that it's only been since September. It's only just now. Tomorrow will be February. What? Why can't I enjoy my time? I'm actively looking for a job. What do you mean? What does that mean? Thank you. What's up? Stay sober. What's up, Tyreek? What's up, you guys? Sorry, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I said that before in the live. I had to quit my job. They were racist. They were racist. They got on my nerve every day, and I worked the hardest. I was the leader of my team. I trained everybody, and they treated me like shit. How were they gonna treat the people on my team? That's what I was worried about. I was not worried about them treating me like shit. It's a job. Everywhere will treat you like shit if you let them. That's the way life is. My thing is, you're not gonna have me be the leader of a team treating us all like shit, and they're looking to me about it. No. Nope, because I didn't even want to be leader of that team. What are you talking about? I trained all of them, and everybody was so fucking disrespectful to me, so I had to quit. But I don't get why you brought that up. I never even said that. No, like I never mentioned that on this live stream. What are we talking about? Hold on, you guys, because I can't hear the music all of a sudden. That's as loud as it goes. Why is that? That's so confusing. I don't know. Like 1 minute it's too loud, I feel like, and then the next minute you can't hear it. Like I don't know what's going on. But the first like 2 times it happened, it was just in the same songs. This time it's a different song, so I can't hear it. Maybe it's just the song. I don't know. It's a weird playlist. I made this playlist forever ago. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did make this playlist a really long time ago. I don't ever listen to it because I have better playlists that are newer. You know how that goes. Oh, but now see, I hear this one. Okay, turn up. Uh, uh. I hear this one. Uh, okay, you guys. Let's get a box. I need a box. I need Can someone send me a box, and then I will start the live stream. I need a dragon too. So send me a dragon, you guys. During when we start. Don't send it right now though. Don't send it right now though. I need a dragon. I need someone to send me 7 boxes. Thank you. Thank you, John. Hi Tiffany. Hi. You haven't not been on live stream in so long. Hi. Are you lurking in the chats? Is that what you're doing instead of live streaming? Yes. Why are you not live streaming? I love your streams, girl. Oh my god. I can't believe I saw that. That's crazy. Well, hi Tiffany. Thank you, John, again for the box. Come on, you guys. I need the boxes, the boxes, the boxes. Let's go, let's go. So I can start this stream. Am I ready? Are you ready? That's a good question. Let me see which one this one just so happens to be. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I'm ready. You see how I have to check first? Thank you, guys. Okay, we got 2 boxes. Starts with 14. I need 3 more people to send me boxes, you guys. Oh, thank you for the gift. Thank you for the silver seal. Thank you for the thank you. Yeah. That was a good song. I hate that I don't play this playlist because it has a couple good ones in there, you know? But the whole playlist doesn't make me want to go find it, you know? I could be a DJ. I could be a good DJ. I could be a good DJ and I'm forgetting my playlist. What? What? I could be a good DJ and people would forget about my set and be like, oh, yeah, this one has 1 or 2 good ones. Oh, thank you, John. John sent another box, you guys. Okay, we need 2 more. 2 more boxes. We're at 21. We need 38. 28. Sorry, I said 38. Did I say 38? I feel like I didn't say the right number. All of a sudden, my brain was like buffering. I was buffering. Tiffany, oh my God, I cannot believe I saw you. I can't believe you're in my chat. Who else is here? You know everybody's gonna see you. You have not been on live in like 2 weeks. It's been like a fucking month. Oh my God. Tiffany, you need to go back on live, girl. I love your live streams. Oh, you're redecorating too, anyways? She said she was redecorating anyways. Oh, yeah. You guys know I don't have a set spot to live stream anymore. Not since I got up and I got used to just walking around and bullshitting. Yes. Okay. So, thank you for the box. Right. Thank you, Omar. I can't read apparently. Oh, thank you, Omar. Shout out to Omar. He sent the last box because John sent 2 boxes, and Omar saved the day for you guys. So, yes. So I'm trying to level up because I think I've been on stream for. It's been way too long. I think I don't want to say I got stuck, but I feel like I got stuck. Um, on level 6, and I've been on level 6 for so long. I'm ready to, you know. So I'm just trying to get the gifts, and the algorithm will um promote my live when people are gifting and the chat is active. Yeah, you guys are always active. No, I actually scroll upwards. You know how like if you're at the bottom, the chat will move. I scroll up just a little bit, and so the chat does not move, and I'll scroll when I'm ready. I'm pretty quick at it. That's why I can do that. But a lot of people might just accidentally, let it sit there or forget to scroll up every now and then. I'm pretty active with it, so I was like scroll up. Thank you guys. Thank you for the seals. I mean scrolls. Okay. A whole bunch of silver scrolls. Um, yes. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Frick. Yeah, you remembered. So we are doing an event. Um, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. The look at you being on point. I fuck with that. I fuck with you. Um, we're doing an event 2 nights from now at 7 on live stream. So you guys should come through. It's gonna be a great panel. Make sure you guys get your gifts ready. I want you guys to not worry about me, but worry about Michael. Is Tiffany gonna be there? I don't even know if she's still in the chat. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Michael's gonna be there. Tiffany's gonna be on the panel. I want you guys to worry about them. To gift Rami, because Rami is still on like level 3, and I really really want to support him. I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna support everybody on the panel, and I would appreciate it if you guys didn't focus on me, but help them out. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a really cool panel. We're gonna do some crazy stuff on live, and then at the end we're gonna play games that they have set up already. I have no idea what games are gonna be. They're not supposed to tell us, but some of us already know. Yeah, it's gonna be one of the 5 people panels, the seven people panels. We might have guests too, so you know how that goes. Because we had guests in and out the live stream. So you know how that goes. No, we sure don't. No, nope, we don't. Because first of all, I don't even know what games we're playing, what we're doing on the live stream. Why would I let guests up on the panel and it's not my panel? How would I even do that? Oh, it's right here. Let me. Oh, I love that. I love that smell. The cologne. It smells so good. I be spraying it sometimes, like once an hour, on the hour. It's crazy. Hell yeah, I waste cologne. Hell yeah, I do. Use it for what? I don't have a job. I'm not going to a party wearing this cologne. No, what the fuck? I'll get sweaty and hot and sweat it right off. It would not stay. That's dumb. Most of the time, I take forever to get ready anyways. I would just get out the shower and go. I don't have time. Then like nobody's waiting on me, you guys. That's what y'all think. Y'all think because last time somebody was like, "Oh, you're not gonna do your makeup. You're not gonna do your makeup. You're not gonna do your makeup." No, you saw me doing my makeup. You saw what I was gonna do. You saw what I did. Like they're not waiting on me, you guys. They will pull up and then drive off without me, even if I'm like coming down the stairs. Yeah, they do not wait for me. So I just I don't know. I just have to take it easy with all that. I get out the shower. It takes me already fucking 30 minutes to pick an outfit, and then I change it 12 times, and that stresses me out every time I do it. It does not get easier. It does not get easier. Yes, that reminds me. And I found my those chains that I wear on my pants. I found both of them. Yes, I'm gonna wear those the next time I go out. I don't care what I'm wearing. I'm wearing those chains. I was thinking this morning, matter of fact, I was thinking, since I found them, I want to figure out how to wear them on like my upper body, not just my pants. Cause yeah, they look cool on my pants, but I wore them I think twice already, and they were just clipped to my pants. I want to figure something else out. I'm gonna make that shit a shirt. What are we talking about? And I went back to that store, and they are so expensive now. Those those pants, though, I think they're like, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think that they're like dog, like those chains that you walk a dog on, and they're just like the metal chains, like the really cheap ones. They're so expensive now at that store. I'm so glad I got mine before they got expensive, especially because I can't afford it. That's okay. We've raised almost $50. Yeah. Oh, and then the boxes. I was looking at where it says the sales. You know how it will tell you like each individual how much you got of that one, not how much you made in total. I don't know why. They should change that. That's a weird feature on this live streaming app. I think. Oh well. Oh look. It okay. So it does tell you a total. That's what I was looking at. It's like really little. I can't see it. But yeah, we almost made it $50. So I will get that. Oh, sorry. So I will get that literally I think on the 6th. So in like a week from now. Yeah. Hi, Rachel. Welcome to the chat. What's good? What's good? How are you? Oh, thank you for the heart emojis. Um, what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. Hi, Ashley. I saw that they are trying to make the where you can like cash out all your coins, your diamonds to what else is there? I'm sorry, my brain is so everywhere. What else is there? There's coins, diamonds. Oh, and your star. I don't know because I haven't gotten that far. The star coins. Is it like star coins, you guys? Who here is on that? Is on a high enough level for that? I want to know. Let me see. Let me see. Ashley is. Rachel is. That one. 1991 Queenie is. Okay. Period. Hold on. Period. Let me. Okay. Um. Because I'm not sure. I'm not that far yet. But they're trying to make it to. I saw that update where they're trying to make it the 15th and not the 6th anymore, where you can get your money. I'm like, I hate that. I low key hate that because I feel like if they move it once, they're gonna start moving it a bunch of times. Yes, the music is still on. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna start moving it. No, I I had music for like background music. I had music for to listen to. There's the difference. I don't have them labeled differently. They all just have like a title. I just kind of know the difference. Thomas said, "How many playlists do you have?" I have, I think like 120. I think. Oh, 119 because one of those playlists is like it was like a recommended playlist, and I went through and saved each one so I could listen to it again. Ask me how many times I listened to it. No, literally, I listened to it like once, and I was zooming through it, skipping songs. It was a good playlist, so that's why I saved it, but I just never listened to it. It was like house music. Nope, I sure cannot play house music on live. No. It was fun though. So yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, so yeah, I don't know. And because what do I care? What do I care that she's on live? Who is that? No, no, I'm blocking you. I'm gonna kick your ass. Wait. Because I do not want you on my live stream talking about somebody else, a different live streamer. No, we're talking about me right now. Be for real. Someone said BYOB. Yes. Okay. So you guys, we are having an event 2 nights from now. Make sure you guys are coming and ready to give. I was saying earlier. Sorry. I was saying earlier that I want you guys to not focus on me and gifting me. I want you guys to focus on everybody else on the panel Rami is only on level 3. He's trying to level up a lot quicker. We're gonna raid Rami one of these days. I just need to be at a high enough level to do the raid feature. Yeah, Michael is he was only trying to get up to level 9, I think, but he ended up at level 12 by the end of the live stream. It was a good live stream. I liked it. It was fun, so much fun. Normally, when I'm watching other streamers that are my friends, I'm like sitting there thinking at like random points. I'm like, I could be live streaming right now. What am I doing, wasting my time? But when I was watching Michael, it was so much fun. I never thought it. No, he's such a fairy. Yeah, he's such a fairy. But yeah, the event's gonna be 2 nights from now. It starts at I think 7, and it's gonna be until 9, and we are going to do crazy stuff on live. We're going to play games at the very end, and we're gonna do challenges. Yes, there will be a panel match. I think it's gonna be a 3-on-3, and then we're each gonna like choose the person that we want to versus. Yep. Hell no, no. I'm actually. You guys will see when the live happens. How about that? And we'll do the panel match then. Yes, but okay, but see, that's the thing. I was saying earlier, I don't want you guys to worry about that or the panel match. I want you guys to focus on everybody else on the stream and just have fun. Yes, I know you cannot hear the music. I can't hear the music. How would you be able to hear it? You probably hear my water bottle. Thank you for the subscribe. Yes. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. I don't think I'm gonna be doing another live. Oops. I don't think I'm gonna be doing another long live stream for a while. No, it doesn't really help me. That's why. No, it doesn't really help me. So, yeah, I think no, I'll be online for as long as I have to. Recently, and probably for like the next 2 months until I get a job, because this is what's supporting me right now, and I really appreciate y'all's gifts, but I am broke in the half. I'm broke enough for 2 people to be broke, and the long streams just don't. I don't get anything out of it. People feel like they can sit there and watch, um, and wait to gift until a certain point, and I don't like it. If people were active the entire stream, of course I would, but I think that's only because I'm only at like a level 6 right now. We're almost to level 7, you guys. I'm not getting off the live until I get to level 7, because Michael's on level 12, Tiffany's on like 15. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for a diamond. So yeah, I'm trying to, reach my goals. Um, I I'm getting help with my rent, but I still need money for like groceries. I need to eat. I need to pay my phone bill too. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that. Because I barely figured it out the past 2 months. I need to figure that out. Hi, Kevin. No, I think no. I was going to use this money on the 6th to get like necessities because I don't have anything. I've been bumming it off my roommates and I need it. I my rent's already paid for. Yeah, I've been bumming it from my roommates. So yeah, I'm staying on live until I get to level 7. I just was doing the gifts for fun pretty much. But that little bit of money is gonna help a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the emojis, John. Thank you for the emojis, Karen. Thank you, Queenie. Queenie sent me a sale, you guys. Thank Queenie. 1991. Yeah. So I've been chilling. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I'm at this point. I was really ready to transition into this, you know, um coaching stuff, but then I had to quit my job. So all that time I was gonna spend doing that is gone. I could get another job and then, keep going, but, you know, with me still in a lot of classes still, I don't know. And plus you have to think about the fact that, you know, um I was doing deadlines while I was working at that job, and then I was gonna quit as soon as I got to my end goal. Now, if I get another job, it's gonna be a totally different end goal, different deadlines. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but uh, I don't know. I'm trying not to stress about it. I should be glad I don't have a job right now. I should be glad, but especially because that job really pissed me off every day. But I don't know. I'm still just so stressed about all the little things. I can't afford nothing I want. And then every time I do something like coaching, every time I do something for my coaching stuff, I feel like I could be working on the fact that I could be transitioning into this so I don't have to get another job, right? But the idea of me finishing all my classes and graduating and, you know, scaling my brand and not have to get another job is not possible. That's not possible. Especially if I want to start a coaching firm one day or like an agency. Thank you for the silver seal, John. Thank you for the emojis, Karen. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not gonna shut. I'm just gonna try to stress about it. It is a lot, but the more I stress about it, it's not gonna fix anything. It's not gonna fix anything. Yeah, so thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Yeah, so that's all we have planned for you know, 2 nights from now. So make sure you guys are there. Make sure you guys are ready to send gifts. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. So, yeah, I think hold on, let me grab my drink. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun, you guys. 2 nights from now, 2 nights from now at 7. Thank you guys. If I could just get the dragons, then we would be good. Let me see, hold on. Because I forget. I forget. But I wrote it down when I was looking directly at it, so I remember. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for the coins. For the super scroll. Yes, thank you guys. It was so much fun. Yeah. I think Danny started it, and we had been doing it on his live stream. The panel for, I think I came the 3rd week, and I've been doing it ever since. We've been doing it for like 7 months. It's so much fun. And then we moved to Michael's. We do it on mine rarely. We don't do it on Tiffany's. But yes, it's so much fun. Yeah. Oh, but anyways, so can you guys hear the music? I was just making sure. Can you guys hear it? I was over there messing with it. I had to go to a different playlist. So I think next live stream, our goal is to get gifts, send gifts. So we're gonna try to send gifts to back and forth. I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys are there. Make sure you guys. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I hope you guys are there. We are gonna be sending gifts back and forth. Hopefully, I'm at a new level when we get to do it tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be. I see. I can't promise a set time, but it will be tomorrow in the morning. So if you get on in the morning, I will more than likely be on already. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh wow. Wow, thank you. So, okay, thank you for the title box. Okay, we got another dragon. Thank you. We're getting silver seals all over the place. Thank you. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And, I've been tired. I think it's because I've been sick. I think it's because I have been sick. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't really. Well, I kind of was. Is why I'm thinking that. I'm not really sure. But I've been feeling so bad. I've been feeling so bad lately. Thank you guys so much for y'all support. I really appreciate it, especially when I'm going through such a hard time. I have a bunch of real ass fans on here. Thank you. Look, we're at 1,300. That's dope, bro. That's so dope. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for it. I appreciate it. I especially appreciate the support. Like, I can't thank y'all enough, bro. Yes, the live stream will be tomorrow in the morning. I will be live all morning, probably until like 1. I'm going to try to wake up early because I know I'm going to go to bed early tonight. So I'm going to try to wake up early and just be on live stream all night. I mean, all night, all morning, right? Somebody says because I don't have plans tonight. Yeah. This is a good song. This is what the third good song that was in a row. That's good. I'm trying to screenshot that. Chat is going crazy right now. That's so crazy. I love this chat. So yeah, that's not gonna have me tripping. But anyways, so I think that I don't know. I think I can try to, push it on Twitter, on Facebook. I could try on Instagram. I don't know. I could try on Instagram. I could try it. That's the least I could do, right? It's the least I could do because if I don't try, then I'll never know. So yeah, I'm going to try to get the content ready first, I think. I'm gonna try to get the content ready. I'm going to try to batch as much stuff as I can, batch as much stuff as possible in like 4 days, right? I'm not gonna even do like a week, in like 4 days, and then just start rapid posting because I don't even know what's really going on with that. It's been so quiet. It's been so quiet, and I don't know why. Thank you for the gift. I need a box, and I need someone to send me a tracking. Has it? You know what? I have not checked. Oh, it's right there. It should be on my screen somewhere. It's right there, I think. 243. That's all right. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I'm not trying to be like the number one. You know, where's Danny then? Where's Michael on the ranking? Oh, okay, so he's like 100 ahead of me. I'm not trying to be like a top streamer or anything, you know. I don't have to be like the number one streamer on here or at all, you know, but I need to work on my funnels. It does not help that I, feel like shit today. Yeah, I'm on here. I'm making content. I give people the resources. There's not really a reason to, see it and not want to tap in. I don't understand why. I don't get it. I do not get it at all. I'm not sure if it's because my reach is bad, but I will try to fix that the best I can. I don't know because, like, in my head, I'm like, it's because of my appearance or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna try to batch as much content as possible. I need to clean my phone. I should have did that before I went live. I woke up and dropped it, and then I was trying to grab it, and it slid under my bed, and that got it super dirty. I can see it. I'm looking right at it. Maybe I do. Okay, so I have a hard drive that I have designated for all the content for the Telegram group. And if you guys don't know about the Telegram group, it's a spiritual group called it's called Life Society. And it's basically like a group where you can get connected and network and meet other spiritual people. It's super fun though. It's like very laid back spiritual stuff. But at the same time, that is not designated for transformation, right? Just kind of of like a life, you know, a lifestyle thing. I think it's very, very lifestyle based. But yeah, I share everything, all my content that I have from the internet, right? News reports, updates. I talk about spiritual gurus. I share commentary videos that I love. I share the memes that I love. I share video essays. I share books, music, zines, all that. I share all of it in that group. So it's vital that you are maintaining your growth in your in transformation and improving, you know, getting enlightened, being a leader, all that stuff. But this is more of like a for a lifestyle thing. Oh, for the person who asked, it's free. You don't have to pay anything to be a part of the group. But in the group, on the group page, it says that there won't be any updates until we get to our quota. Yeah, I think that I need to share it more often. I haven't seen anyone. I haven't really made a lot of content. I've been struggling with that. I think I made a little bit. I think I made like 8 clips to post. It's kind of hard because, first of all, you don't really hear about Telegram groups that are like super popular, let alone, like the marketing for it, the niche for it is kind of not there because people, like don't go looking for that. But I want people that already, have the app that are, huh? Yeah. I'm broke. I don't have no money.
I'm back. I get let in.
I would say the longer you wait, the longer you gonna have to wait for it.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were still serving, bro.
Yeah, it's only 9:30. You want me to go get it now? Yeah, I'll go.
With a breakfast burrito with bacon or bacon and eggs.
A breakfast burrito or bacon and egg sandwich.
Breakfast burrito with bacon.
Okay.
Yeah, or bacon and egg sandwich. They don't have breakfast burrito.
Okay.
And some jelly.
And some jelly. I feel like shit, bro. All right.
How much you gonna charge for the
Give me 2 and I'll be good.
Right,
Can I get 3?
Yeah.
3. 3 is fine.
All right.
I'm going in straight back, okay? So, I think it's hard to promote it because I don't really know how to reach people that already have a Telegram group, Someone said I could find people that are willing to get it. Yeah, but if I was willing to do that, I would have done it already. I would have done that already. Because My thing is, I think the people that already have a Telegram group would want more groups to be a part of, you know? Mine just so happens to be spiritual. I don't really know. I'm not sure yet, but I do need to figure it out though. I do need to figure it out. So anyways, we're gonna run to the store, you guys. Um, um, so I think we're gonna put a hold on the transformation series for this live stream. And then I already have plans for what I want to talk about the next live stream because I have updates. But yeah. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna share some updates again with you guys. I mean before that live stream, this live stream at the end. So yeah. Um, what are we talking about? What were we talking about this live stream? Oh, okay. So we're talking about alignment today. Sorry that the wind's blowing all crazy. So I think some of y'all have known because I talked about it before. Well, I'm gonna recover it, so I'm sorry. Bear with me. Just stick with me, and we're gonna get through it. But I talked about it before about how alignment is adapting. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be talking about for right now. Because alignment is one thing that a lot of spiritualists don't teach you, right? Is that alignment is basically the awareness, right? But to stay aligned with the divine, with the universe, with your cosmic alignment, you have to understand something, and that's that everything is gonna change, everything is gonna shift, and it's not in your control. You just have to be willing to go with the flow and to do what you can, do what you can. Sorry, to just try to be, above it, right? Because to keep your head above the water is not about you having to understand it, and you might not be at that point yet, but a lot of spiritualists get to that point where they are moving in faith. They don't know what's going to happen next. They don't know what's going on, what's working, in the bigger picture. They just trust. And you guys are going to have to learn that alignment is the ability to shift. You need to know that before you try to seek alignment, which is different from seeking peace, because to keep your peace in alignment, you're going to have to understand things will change, things will adapt, things will evolve, things will transform, and you might not understand it. But the important thing is that if you're willing to continue down that path, you'll stick with it. You'll stick with it. So you have to understand that it takes patience, it takes faith, it takes for you to, you know, just believe that it'll work out. It'll work out. But you have to believe that it's unfolding, that it's unfolding in the right way. So yeah, I think that with alignment, you have to be ready to embrace the change that comes, whether you're ready for it or, it's unexpected. I think that you have to be ready for those type of, circumstances, those type of experiences, those type of situations, because that's what alignment is. A lot of us have this misconception about alignment that, like once we achieve alignment, like it's some set goal, right? Our end game goal, that we will reach a pivotal point, when in reality it's just the point of pivoting continuously. So I wanted to talk about that. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at changing. I've embraced change very well. One time I think I was talking about that and I said something about change. You don't know where change goes, but that is the beauty of being willing to go wherever, the universe is trying to lead you to, right? Because it's important, because you never know what direction you're going in sometimes, and it can be hectic and it could be confusing and it could be very nerve-wracking, right? But in those feelings of overwhelming, it's so easy and simple to just close your eyes and just move and just decide, you're going to move, whether if it's the right direction or not, where you're going, where you don't, like, if you don't know where you're going, all that. I think it's very soothing because, trust is a very fickle thing in the first place. You trust one person 1 second and then, all of a sudden you don't, you know? You never know when you stop trusting, but the universe is calling you to just trust the direction that it wants you to take, I was thinking about that yesterday night. I was supposed to be meditating, but I didn't meditate. I sure did get in bed. Yep. Thank you for the gift. So yeah, it's just a pivotal place of being able to willingly adapt, because the universe can force you all you want to. You know that life. Everybody knows that life. That's the life that we live from the beginning. We need to learn to accept the fact that there are times and places where the universe does not want to fight with you about what direction you're supposed to be going. You have to be willing and accept the fact that there needs to be some ease on your behalf. The universe is all about balance. The universe is balance in duality. You have to know when to measure up, when to put up a fight, when not to put up a fight with the universe. Because sometimes you can argue, sometimes you can debate, sometimes you can let your opinion be known, but you still have to do it. You have to know those things.
You have to know when the universe is calling you in a direction that you never thought of, or calling you in a direction that, you had already had your mindset that you did not want to go down that path, right? I think sometimes with change, it can be hard because we don't know. I had that problem when I was younger because we moved a lot. But when I grew up, I, immediately grew out of that because I thought I started to grow this mindset of, change is actually beautiful when you think about it. Um, because as I got older, I realized I consider change things like the seasons, things like the weather, from like a rainy season to like it's finally sunny outside. That's how I imagine change. That's what change is. Change is when the grass starts to grow back after winter. You know, it's just the little things. When a flower sprouts and is growing, but it doesn't bloom yet, and then a season comes where the flower develops, and like it's those things that I consider change. I don't want you guys to think that, you know, it's not supposed to be hard because it is. It is every day. For me, for all the spiritualists you're watching, um, we struggle with that. We especially struggle with change. We hate when things are purposely changed up. We hate when things are, starting to be or feel different, you know? We hate it when someone comes and then shakes up everything. We hate that. We all do. But the fact that you need to learn to embrace it is because you are not adapting if you're not doing it with the amount of willingness that the universe is expecting of you. You're not, whether it be a lot or a little. And we all know about the expectations of the universe because it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard to deal with that. And it always will be until the day that we die. But when we learn to shift, it can be this beautiful transformation that you never even know that will reveal itself a lot later. Wow, you did that with such ease. Wow, I did that the easy way without putting up a fight, and now I can do it right now. Watch me, right? Like it's just those things that we need to be focused on, that we need to be patient about. It is. So another thing I wanted to talk about, some of you guys didn't know, I'm a pagan. Um, I don't really have a specific belief system. I just use it kind of as an umbrella term for my spirituality. If you guys didn't know that, that's all I'll share for right now because there's no need for me to go into all the great detail about my life story and all that about me being a pagan. I'm a pagan, and I just use that as an umbrella term for believing in multiple gods, multiple deities, multiple um, spirits that are a part of the source, right? And then I believe in source, right? I believe in the universe, right? Um, so I use that as an umbrella term for those of you that didn't know. A lot of people were wondering because I had posted something on social media about like 3 days ago. I haven't talked about it because I wasn't sure if it was like a thing or if people were just putting that just to, it just so happened to come up 2 or 3 times in the comments. But yeah, I realized it was a thing, so I wanted to address it. I haven't addressed it since it happened, which was like 3 days ago. I'm sorry, but yes, I do believe that people who practice the craft, you don't even have to be a witch, an alchemist, because I also practice you know, chaos magic. I also dabble in occult magic. That's where the chaos magic comes in.
I just take what I need and I go. That's my whole craft. Um, but a lot of people were wondering about my stance on basically it was like, wait, what do you believe in? Do you believe that, practitioners and people who practice the craft should be making it easy for people to um access magic like that, or do you stand against it, right? And I never answered. People are still commenting to this day. I responded to one person at the end of those comments that posted something today. um it has like 17 comments, all the same thing. You guys, I have a online wood shop. I own an online store where I sell magic and my services. That's not new. I would have shared that if I would have known that you guys had known that or didn't know that already. So whether it's a debate about should we be making magic in our practices, um, you know, accessible to people in the mainstream, of different cultures, all that, that's not a debate for me. Yes, I would do that. Whether I believe that or not is not, you're not going to get an answer out of me for that. But I will sell my services to people who need it, people who want it, because they are not practitioners like me that use magic the way that I do. I'm very crafty. I'm very observant. I appreciate and honor improvement. I appreciate and honor lifestyle the same way, whether it be urban, modern, postmodernist, whatever whatever you believe in. I honor that. A lot of witches don't because of what they believe in. And it's not because they have verbally said that or have proved it with their actions. It's their lifestyle that speaks for it. And there's nothing else that can speak for that. My lifestyle speaks for what I believe in, right? My actions speak for what I believe in. And the fact that I will give my services to, um, you know, practice for someone, or give my services to perform a spell, or give advice or critiques on someone who is doing, some voodoo work, right? I've done all those things, not to make it accessible to anybody, but to make it accessible for the people who need it, everybody. Does that make sense? And I want to clarify that because it's getting on my nerves. People are still commenting on this comment this morning. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I guarantee you that was not the last comment. The one that I responded to was not the last comment from this morning. That's crazy, you guys. That is insane. And it's not about, okay, I will give you, it's about the religious point of view, but at the same time, there aren't people who are super, super religious asking for magic spells, that are asking for someone to perform magic for them. There's not. It's only people who need it, people who desire it. And regardless of that, I do consultations for a lot of my spells anyways, to just analyze those people, to look into those people, to figure out what they really want, what they really need. I'm not just doing it willy-nilly, selling it to anybody, right? And I respect that. That is the new, today, as of today, that is what the new witch does. That's what the new witch does. And besides, as a pagan, I don't believe in any of that. My entire world is upside down to your point of view of your understanding, let alone upside down to how you see my life from the outside in, not from the inside out. Even if you did see it from the inside out, it would still be a point of view. That's what consciousness is. Whether I'm a new age pagan, whether I'm a practitioner, whether I'm a voodoo queen, because those people are not having the same problems that I'm having. I can be who I want to be. That's the beauty of being who the fuck you want to be. You can label me and box me in all you want to. Does not mean that I will fit. Does not mean that I will stay. Does not mean I will find alignment in those things. Like I said, I use the term pagan as an umbrella term. Pagan means believer of multiple gods before it means all the other stuff. Because all the other stuff comes with labels that they choose that I will not choose. And a lot of the influencers you watch and follow, you're not giving them a hard time about believing in this deity and also serving a different deity. You're not. But for me, it's like crossing religions or something. It's not. It's not that. It will never be that. I will do what I want to, when I want to do it. And so they need to understand that. Do not interact with those people. Don't argue with those people. Don't go back and forth with them. Because some of them I don't even know. If not majority of them. All of them. I don't even know who they are. They're just random followers that I have, bots. Faceless accounts with, as far as I care. So don't interact with them. Don't argue with them. Don't feel like you brave and trying to tell them about me, and while you're trying to tell them about themselves. Somebody should tell them about themselves, but it's not going to be me. So, and it's my post. So why are you in my comments? All that to say, just don't feel brave about me in the chats, because I don't care about no other influencers, and and not a single influencer has told me anything ever. I wish they would. I would check that. But as for the bots in the comments and white people, what? No, you will never get a response out of me like that. Nope. So don't fall for it, because I'm not falling for it. But yes, I have an online shop. I used to sell practices. I used to sell teachings. I used to sell actual spells. I used to sell tools to perform spells, different things. Like, it's not about making it accessible. None of that stuff was accessible in the first place, because before it even started, I was doing services to do it for people because they cannot do it. And that's the thing. They're not taking that into consideration. When a witch is buying spells, you know the person that they're buying the spell from knows what they're doing. I would not open I would not open a witch store and let it get successful, wildly successful, if I had bad intentions. Because I sort of believe in 3x3, I sort of don't. It don't even really matter to you. So why fall for that? But yeah, these influencers today, they all do it. They all do it. Everybody does it. That is what the new witch does. which we're gonna have to talk about one day. Now that I'm thinking about it, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that. But none of them are getting problems, but they see, oh, I'm a practitioner. Oh, I'm a new ager. Oh, I practice chaos magic. Oh, but he also practiced alchemy. You're mad in my comments leaving post while I'm doing yoga in an open field with the peace and calm of nature. We have nothing to do with each other. Just saying.